Hey guys, welcome back to Firewood Hill. My name is Matt. Today we got some cutting to do, guys, and we're going to use the cutting processor to do it. We've added a couple cool things to this processor. I think it's finally complete to where I don't really need to do any more changes to it, and I like how it's running. So stick with me, guys, and I'll show you what I got. Alright guys, so I'll show you what we got going on. So first things first, Everett from East Firewood, I'll put his link down in the description, made this thing right here. This thing is sweet. He made it out of scratch. He loves fabricating stuff, and you can tell he enjoys it because he does such a great job. So now we have a log arm here, guys, that will hold down the log while we cut it. So he made this. It bolted right onto the frame of the rollers. He made that little guy right there. All it is a piece of steel that he just bolted there. That's going to be the backstop there. If I need to extend it longer, which I don't think I have just because I've ran it and really like that being there, we can add more, and we could add a piece of wood across to make a bigger backboard, but I don't believe we need to. And lastly, we have a new post that the chainsaw sits on. So this thing is way sturdier than the other one I had, guys. The other one was just like a thin piece of steel that just hang off the side here. We took this side out so we can get the bolts in right there. Oh, that's what it looks like. It looks like this right here. So I just bolted that, but this thing moves freely sometimes because the nut gets loose. So this allows for way more precise cuts. The chainsaw doesn't move as much as it did previously. We have a log bar that holds the log so the log doesn't move, and then as well as we have a backstop for longer ones, so we could pull it all the way up against and make it even, so once again it makes a more precise cut. So I have a few logs on here, but I want to load this up a little bit more before we get started. Once we get the logs loaded up, guys, I'll show you how we put the chainsaw on the device. It's not rocket science. I'll just show you guys so you can see. And then I'll show you what I'm using to run my conveyor so that I don't have to run any more drop cords to the house. I got an empty bucket here. This is for the scraps, and then the bucket down there is kind of halfway full. But I think once we fill this up, run it one time, it'll fill that up and we'll be good to go. So guys, we built that firewood cutting processor for one reason, and that's to help cut all the small stuff the tree service brings. What I mean by that is not necessarily small diameter, but small lengths. I would love to have log length wood that I could throw through that and just run through it, but I don't. And the reason I don't is because the tree service cuts it up, right? I don't buy my logs. But I'll show you the log forms that I get, or the log lengths that I get, that I made this processor for, so it helps me process that without having to dull my chain, move stuff all the time. I think this way is gonna be a lot quicker. So these are the size logs that I'm talking about that are a pain in the butt to cut. One, because they're stacked unevenly. Two, a lot of times they're on the ground. You have to roll them and whatnot. What this allows me to do is take these over to the processor and get one or two clean cuts and call it good. So we're going to go ahead and load up those logs on the forks here, take them over to the processor, and then we'll get processing. All right, that should be good to go. We'll take this over to the live deck, throw it on there, and then we'll get started cutting. Well, a couple fell off. Those two right there fell off when I was loading it, but the rest stayed on, guys. The look, the back bar did its job there, guys. So none fell, and I could have probably pushed these up before I did all that, but this is real time, right? So this is how it's gonna work. All right, let's get the saw put on and we'll get this thing fired up. One washer on there, put the saw on there, and then I just put 2 more washers there. Now the only problem is I've lost my nut. So funny story, guys, I went to put this chainsaw on and I cannot find the bolt. And unfortunately I do not keep 1/2-inch bolts laying around the house. But luckily I was able to find, I have an industrial fan that has an arm that holds it up on the wall. It actually had a 1/2-inch bolt and nut on it, so I was able to steal it from that for this video. So thank goodness I could find that, otherwise this video would not be posted today. Alright, we got that guy on there, tighten her down. Alright, I don't get it super tight because it won't move. That's perfect right there. Alright guys, we got the saw on there. It's full of gas and bar oil. We got the log whip loaded. Now it's time to turn this conveyor on. Y'all remember my last video is the Vito Man 1800. I can't believe this thing powers this old conveyor, and a lot of you guys have said the same. But it does. So let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. So y'all get the gist of it. I'm going to show you from my perspective how this works. I just grabbed the log right here. I sawed it up to the stick right there. When I'm hitting it, I know that it's 16 inches. I will pull the lever down and hold it. This lever works great, guys, because it will take any size, well, not any size, it will take this logs up to 10 inches. So it's got points right here, right here, right here, as well as small ones. That's what the front teeth are for. Everett did a great job with this, guys. I mean, he really took time to think this through and did a great job. So you press that down, you hold it, and you don't have to put much pressure on it, guys. I mean, it'll hold for you. And then you cut it with the saw. The log drops down, goes up the conveyor into an IBC tote, and then anything that's crap or no good, I'll throw it in there. It's pretty simple. One thing I will tell you too is I am working on getting some type of stick to measure better. I've thought about just putting a stake in the ground and then putting a piece of wood long enough that comes over top right here and measure it, and that's probably what I'll do. But I think I'm about to have to move this conveyor and processor elsewhere for something coming in pretty soon. So that's why we're still using that measuring stick. I know it falls off and it's annoying, but it works for now. So anyways, let's get back to processing. Top deck is empty again. I'm telling you guys, that takes no time. We have another full tote of rounds to take to the splitter. There was a lot on the ground I picked up and throw in there just to see how much we have. So yeah, the next thing to do is grab the tractor. We'll get this tote over to the Wolf Ridge. That right there is the final product, and it's right next to the splitter. So we are all set there. There is no cleanup to do other than that little bit that's falling down there, and I'll just chuck it in there and we're ready to go next time. I'm telling you guys, this thing is sweet. It's everything I wanted to be and more. We've got pretty much all the kinks other than the measuring stick figured out, but like I said, I think I'm gonna have to move this thing here shortly. So my idea of putting the measuring stick in the ground is kind of pointless because I'll be moving it anyway. So that's it, guys. Man, I really like this process. It really makes cleaning up those little pieces easy and fun. Sometimes those little pieces are just more annoying than anything, right? But I think we've got this thing dialed in. I'm sure there's more things that we'll figure out we need later, but right now I'm super happy with it. Let me know, guys, what y'all think about it. Any ideas that you have that can make it better. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.